and welcome to another episode of Loud Pigment, our youth-led podcast brought to you by BioC Creative Action for Conservation. And today we're speaking to Rafael. He is a 2025 Future Blue Youth Council member from Ecuador. Rafael, how are you feeling today?
Hey everyone, I'm feeling great. Thanks for having me here.
Rafael has also lived in the United States and is currently pursuing bioengineering in Germany. He is a very creative person who advocates for the environment by painting murals and many more things he's going to talk about today. And before we start, I would like to shout out this amazing painting that we have on our backgrounds. And it's basically a painting that Raphael chose for us from our Bausi gallery, as each speaker does on our episodes. And this one is made by Sally Choi from Canada. It's called How Did You End Up Here? And I feel like this painting points out the seriousness of climate change in this very humoristic manner. And yeah, Raphael, why did you choose this painting? Like, what is your favorite thing about it?
Um, what you mentioned, I think it portrays the situation quite well, but also it reminds me of Galapagos penguins, which I mean, normally when we think of penguins, we think of cold, snow, you know, but the Galapagos penguins live in the on the beach, and it's kind of crazy to think about, but it's their natural habitat, and every time I see this painting, I always remember those.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. And I like the cameras and like the mics and the girl like doing the
Yes.
pictures. Yeah, so like exactly like the specific perfect amount of sarcasm in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's just start with the questions. So, Raphael, what is one book, podcast, or media piece that lives in your mind rent-free?
It's a quite recent one. It's the movie Project Hail Mary. Um, I really enjoyed it, and like I've been spending a lot of time thinking about, every. It's not about climate change, but it could be interpreted that way a little bit. And I also like the relationship that the main character has with Rocky.
Oh,
It was a fun movie.
yeah, the with Ryan Gosling, right?
Yeah, with Ryan
Yeah,
Gosling, exactly.
yeah, I also love that movie. Yeah, it's an amazing movie. I actually cried by the end of it. Yeah, I
Yeah, it
love
was
it.
so nice.
Yeah. And yeah, okay. And what is your favorite water animal and why? Since, I feel like you're very connected to the environment. So what is that connection to you?
Tardigrades. I'm not sure if they're technically in the animal kingdom, but I really love them. They're also known as water bears. You might know them by that name.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Um, I like the. There's so many things I like about them. It's hard to pick one, but like one of the most important things that they have, like one of the things that defines them, is that they're incredibly resistant to like pretty much anything. It's like really they're really hard to kill,
Yeah.
and yeah. But I think what makes me love them the most is like just like how silly they are. They're just like like big chubby bears, which is why the hence the name. But I just every time I see a picture of one, I just think it's so fun to watch and like watching them crawl and stuff like that. I love it, and um, I really admire just like how they are so resilient to everything. It's like they can be sent to space and then come back, and it's just like no problem for them, and they can be subjected to extreme temperatures and no food, no water. Like it's incredible.
Yeah. They're really resilient. That's amazing. And what is one thing that makes you happy right now?
Ooh, dark chocolate.
Okay. Why exactly dark chocolate?
Um, I it tastes better than milk chocolate, I think, but also I guess that maybe subconsciously there's also like a connection to Ecuador since cacao production is like a really important part of Ecuador's identity. So it's like every time I'm eating like dark chocolate, it's more like part of home, I guess.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. Yeah, I agree with that actually. I like dark chocolate also more than the other types. Yeah. And as I know, as you mentioned also, Ecuador is your home country, but you lived in different places. And can you share more about that and whether or not you believe that living in different places kind of shaped your love for the environment or how you see the like advocacy?
Of course. Um, yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here today if it weren't because I've lived somewhere else. One of like the most important things that made me understand the importance of the environment and climate change when I was growing up as a kid was when I was living in the US. My primary school was a little bit unorthodox in a good way. It was called UPS, University Primary School, and um, it was a much more free flowing primary school than like others. It's not like not everything was so rigid. I don't even remember having grades, maybe, but they really uh, taught us how important the environment was. And sometimes, like, just the class would be go outside and find a bug, and look at the bug, and it was so fun. And like that introduced me to the environment, how like incredible nature can be. But they also taught us like, well, right now we're just like kind of facing this problem. It's called climate change and stuff like that. But they did it in a really nice way that it kind of really stuck to me with me, and I've cared about the environment ever since. But also, the country I come from, Ecuador, is one of the 17 megadiverse countries in the world, and and living now here in Germany, I'm starting to notice that like I hadn't normalized this. Like, yeah, there's just like an iguana in in my school or a hummingbird in my backyard. But now I realize, wow, it was like really just such a gift to be able to grow up some place there's so much nature, and I think that's why I really care about it.
Oh wow, that's amazing. And I like how your primary school had this like practical approach to environmental problems, like just going outside, looking at the nature. It sounds amazing. And you did mention kind of that you moved to Germany and the difference in like nature and just the kind of different continents. And what is it like to study in Germany?
It's nice. I gotta say, I do appreciate the life I'm leading here. Of course, I mean, always a factor of culture shock and stuff like that. But I've been really lucky to be able in like a part of the city that there is a lot of nature around me, so I don't feel so separated from home. But like when I'm in like more of the city center and stuff like that, I do feel a little bit strange and like out of place. It's like, wow, this isn't the amount of nature I'm used to.
Yeah. And what are some culture shocks? Like one of them.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, the food. It's just the food. I don't want to. I don't want to throw shade on the food they have here, but I do like the food from Ecuador a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also why I'm asking is I'm also studying in Europe and I'm also an international
Yeah,
student here, and that's I agree with that. Yeah, I feel like it's the big difference and kind of
yeah.
yeah, like where to find that food that we're used to. But yeah, I feel like generally it's an amazing opportunity. And you study bioengineering. What is something that made you choose your major?
Ooh, I think what like really made me choose my major was a research project that I did in school as like part of my IB extended essay for any of the listeners that know. Um, I did about DNA data storage, and I think that like the best way to explain my major is through this example. And what I really like about bioengineering or like any of the related fields is that they take nature as like a sort of inspiration, a muse to create new incredible technologies. For example, DNA data storage. That like typically when we think of data storage, we think, well, okay, like these like big warehouses that Google has, and like just like a bunch of wires everywhere. But then lately, this new technology has been being developed has been developed sort of, and they're using like actual DNA, synthetic obviously, but DNA to store our photos and stuff like that. It's just so incredible the fact that you can take nature and do that.
Yeah.
And then there's the side effect that it's incredibly sustainable. And many of the technologies that have been developed through bioengineering and stuff like that also have this side effect. Like once we followed nature, well, it turns out like it's actually very sustainable. So I'm looking forward to doing something like that in the future.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Is there a way that we can read more about your project or research?
I like maybe the IB has like published it. Sometimes they publish some, but like it's just it was a school project. It wasn't that big of a like it's just I had to do it to graduate. But once I started researching and all of this, I got really interested in the topic. I was like, okay, I think this is the field for me.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I feel like it's an amazing combination of like technology and like love for the environment. So, yeah. And would you say that being a council member kind of like affected your choice, or maybe being a council member like made you feel like you made the right choice when choosing your major?
Yes, definitely. I had already chosen my major by the time I joined the council, but it definitely made me think, okay, this is the right path for me. It was I'm not I don't think there's like any one specific experience, but being there surrounded by other people that also care about the environment was like, yeah, this is for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. I also feel this way because I chose like environmental kind of aspect as my election course, and I feel like most like of my desire to study environmental science was kind of like thanks to the council and just being there. So I agree with that. And were there any challenges that you kind of faced while moving to a whole different continent for studying?
I mean, of course, like anytime you go into a new environment, there's growing pains, but I'm just like so grateful for the support that like my family has given me and also the consistency that working like being part of the council and then like an intern at BioC has given me. It's just like I think the transition would have been much harder without that. And like I said before, I have a bunch of greenery around the place where I live, and it's not such a common thing here where I live. So I'm very grateful of the situation I've been like the hand I've been dealt.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. Is there one message that I would like to give to international students who are kind of in a similar situation as you?
Um, it all works out in the end. Like I know several times I've been thinking, no, like at this, like all this paperwork, like everything's, I'm doomed. It all works out in the end. It's stressful for sure, but you will get through.
Okay, that's amazing. I also support this message. And yeah, are there like any other projects that you are very proud of? Maybe your murals or any other things that you had this creative kind of taste to that?
Yes, and I'm gonna take a moment to like also talk about my fellows I had during well, I was in the council. So there's two. There's Sophie and there's Mimo-chan. Sophie made a children's book series with environmental topics, and she also started a bunch of other projects while she was a fellow. And Mimo-chan reduced the use of plastic use of in Nepal by promoting traditional handcrafts. And both of like I'm so grateful that even though I wasn't like the project leader or had like any hands-on experience there, I was like so grateful of being able to help them because it was such incredible projects. It's like it's possibly not something I would have ever thought of, but like now that I see it's like of course it makes sense. Like why wouldn't we do it this way? So it was so fun.
Exactly, amazing. Yeah, and how would you say being a council member help you as a college student? So maybe meeting new people or having that space about what you're kind of interested in.
Um, Okay, it's definitely given me people skills and organizational skills because when you're part of the council, you're like you do your own hours. Like you have a lot of flexibility, which is incredible, but also that also has responsibility of you have to be able to organize yourself well, like to keep up with your responsibilities, and also when you're talking to your fellows, you need to be able to communicate with them properly, manage any discussions, anything that might come up.
Yeah.
And having spent time on the council really helped me with all those skills and made the transition to living in Germany and studying in Germany much easier.
Yeah, I find it, I agree 100% because the amount of people that I met like during my term on the council and just like having, the team support on all of our projects, ideas, it was an amazing experience. So for anyone who's watching, if you are thinking of applying, definitely apply. You will not regret it. And is there like a specific memory that you have, like your favorite memory from being in Future Blue of Council?
Oh, there's so many, but I really enjoyed making a mural together with I think it was maybe half of us or maybe all of us. I don't know. But we all made this mural for I don't remember what it means for like IUCN. It was maybe a gallery or something. But it was really fun because like we worked together as a team more than we did before, and we brainstormed and we tried out different ideas, like different looks, different aesthetics. It was incredible. It was so fun, and also it was nice to then get feedback after the mural was done. Like people loved it. It was nice.
I think it is on the website, if I'm not mistaken.
It probably is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What advice would you give to all the aspiring change makers or people who are interested in like environmental activism?
Um, no initiative is too small. I think
Mhm.
something that worried me before I was part of the council was like, well, does it do it? Can I even have the power to make an impact if it's just me? And the answer is yes. And you can make more impact with like once you start working with more people, but you first have to start. And if it's just you for a month, 2 months, a year, that's perfectly fine. At least you're doing something, and that's really important. And to not lose hope.
Yeah, amazing advice. What would you recommend to all people who are trying to choose their creative medium or who are trying to kind of incorporate art into their activism?
I'd say try it all. Just like you don't know what clicks with you until you try it all. And once you tried it all, try it all again. Like you might the first time around you might like art more, and then the second time you might like writing, and it fluctuates. Art is or like creative expression is such an abstract thing. We can't just put it in one field. You gotta try it all, and it's okay. You don't have to concentrate on one single thing. You can do it. You can do everything.
Yeah, incredible advice. And just being a council member, I feel like gives you so much freedom because you can do literally anything, something you have not done before, something you've done before. You can like ask for advice from other council members who might have more experience in that specific field. And also in the ocean awareness contest, you can just like apply to various like areas. It can be writing or video making or anything. So I agree with that. And I think it's just amazing that we have so much like so many opportunities to be creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we are pretty much done with the questions. And it was so nice to listen to you and to have you share your experiences. Is there anything else you would like to share with our audience?
Don't lose hope. I'm like some. It's easy to lose hope, but don't. And thank you for having me here. I had so much fun talking.
Yeah, thank you so much and goodbye.
Bye.